Hi, this is Lori J. Bayne, and I am in week 8 of Gail Evans' DIY Body Detox, and in week 5 of my heavy metal detox. And today, rather than talking quite so much about what I'm going through, although that will be part of it, as I use myself as an example, I've been exploring the idea since yesterday that closure is not a cure. When you get an answer about what's wrong with you, when you get, or like, diagnosis is not a cure, maybe is a better way, because I don't really have closure, but I have closure on the last 30 years. I have an understanding now, finally, about what's been making me so freaking sick. I know now why I had asthma and had to get a tonsillectomy because my tonsils stopped functioning. Bathed in mercury, all of this, everywhere. It was mercury in the teeth, in the tonsils, thyroid problems, lung problems. Keep going down, the camera can't see here, but let's see, what else did I have? Fatty liver, caused by mercury. Digestive issues, gluten intolerance. Reproductive problems. I had a period that lasted for 3 months at one point. This was before I even found out I was gluten intolerant. They wanted to take my uterus out. It turns out that my bowels were inflamed from the gluten, which was pushing on my left ovary, which was causing it to malfunction, and my periods my hormones got out of whack. My thyroid, which helps control hormones and I think has 18 different functions. All of it. Mercury poisoning. I've given you the very, very short list of the major problems. Oh, and vision. Now, I had vision problems before. I've never had clear vision, but I've never had vision that wouldn't clear with glasses, or had double, triple, or even quadruple vision. So I've got all these problems, and I've learned how to manage most of them. But I'm not better yet. And even though everybody is telling me, God, Laura, you look so good. You look so healthy. You're losing so much weight. God, you look great. I feel like shit. I feel awful. If I didn't have my dentists to bounce ideas off of and find out that my symptoms are normal, I don't think that I would be able to tolerate this. Because it feels like things are going wrong in my body. It feels like I'm sicker than I've ever been. And I understand that's because the mercury is coming out of the fat, now that it finally can, because pretty much everything I consume is shot at the mercury. It's either, or heavy metals in general, either I'm eating a meal that is full of heavy metal detoxers, or I'm taking pills for it. And while I'm doing all of that, I'm doing it with a certain kind of gratitude. Gratitude that I have this time that has been provided me, that I've been granted an enormous financial loan to recover my health. And there is a certain, I really don't want to be a part of that club feeling coming up. After the relief is done setting in, that you don't have to worry anymore. That you don't, like, I don't have to worry about more mercury poisoning. Not the way it was happening. Is there environmental stuff? Sure. Are there coal trains going through this town? Yes. I mean, mercury is everywhere. You pretty much can't escape it. Everybody should be taking stuff to detox heavy metals on a light scale, in my opinion, every day. So, as far as the I don't want to be in that club goes, I've got that coming up pretty strong. I don't want to be poisoned. I don't want to be a victim of what a dentist was taught by liars who knew. If you go far enough up the chain, somebody knew. Somebody knew. And somebody knows, some buddies know that this is happening. This is very well hid. I consider myself a rather seasoned internet researcher, and I've made jokes in the past that I should get a PhD in internet research. And I know, lots and most of what you see on the internet is bullshit. I get it. And I'm not saying that I'm the smartest person in the whole world because, well, if I didn't know, nobody must know. No. I'm having difficulty phrasing this in a way that makes sense, or at least sounds like it's making sense coming out of my mouth. It's just a general, I don't want this to be the case kind of feeling. And I know that I can't undo it. I wish I could. This is a knowledge that certain time frames have passed. I can't go back to being 14 and finish growing up into a woman without the mercury poisoning occurring. I can't go back and not eat gluten when I was really little so that my teeth wouldn't rot from the inside out, so that I would have never needed the root canals. That is one of the things that can happen with gluten intolerance. It causes the root of the tooth to rot upward into the tooth, and that by the time you find a pinhole dot of a cavity in the molar, the entire molar is empty. It's already been eaten away. And it was just a little tiny cavity on the top to find out that there was nothing but enamel left for my teeth. And they just sucked out the rot and filled it in with mercury and composites, and then stuck really toxic glue on top of it and put a crown on it. Yay. Anyway, all of that to say, I can't undo any of it. And other people that have had it done to them, they can't undo any of it. The best we can hope for is that we take the right supplements in the right amount and eat the right foods, and in anywhere from 3 months to a year, that should be about as good as it's going to get. More or less. Now, I've been reading about how, actually not reading, I have been hearing from Jason. He has a friend, well, we have a friend who told us that plantain, and I don't mean plantain like the banana, I mean plantain, anywhere between this long and, there's another finger, there we go, and about that long. The leaves, they grow about that long in those sizes. Just look up plantain. I don't have the skills yet, or the energy, or the wherewithal to try to make a video that's got all kinds of cool pictures edited in. I'll have to learn how to do that stuff later. Anyway, plantain is supposed to be a neurorestorative. Now, mercury is a neurotoxin, so it strips back the myelin sheath and can destroy it. Cannabis is a neuroprotectant, and with CBD, which is cannabidiol, I have been reading that you can help restore some of that. So if it's cannabis or if it's plantain, I am understanding that there are plant-based items in the world, if you eat the leaves, and it's the leaves specifically on both plants, that you can restore nerve damage and heal the myelin sheath so that you don't have the jumpiness, the sensitivities, all of the stuff that comes with mercury poisoning and your the central nervous system. It's why I've been having trouble with touch. It's why I have had a great deal of difficulty reaching orgasm, whether I try it myself or have a partner. It's challenging. I also wanted to talk about the self-doubt, the feeling like I've had a shitty personality for years, the feeling like I was defective, was rude, had no impulse control, specifically with my mouth. I think that I have a certain kind of bluntness, and I'm okay with that. But when it hurts people and I don't even know what's happening, that's a difficult one. And I wonder now how much of that has been the mercury and how much of it has just been my bluntness. Time will tell. People have already told me that they see my personality changing, that they see me more calm. And I feel more calm most of the time. We'll see at the end. And when I read that a personality change, or multiple personality changes, and I don't mean multiple personalities, I mean multiple times in your life your personality can adjust. Because you're being affected by a poison. And I'm losing my train of thought now. Again. What I want to say in general is that to anyone who has gray or silver or metal fillings in their mouth, this was done to you. And maybe the dentist didn't have malice of forethought, but somebody did. Far enough up the line, somebody did. And it's not your fault. You didn't ask to be injected with thimerosal, ethyl mercury. You didn't ask to have mercury amalgams placed in your mouth so that you could have toxicity. You didn't ask to breathe it or eat it. But nobody tells us where it is, and it's everywhere. It's terrifying to look at this. I mean, it makes you not want to do detox anymore. But then I have to do detox because I can't leave it in. I can't let it settle. It's crazy making. And I'm starting to have an episode where light is starting to bug me, and I have enough trouble with lighting this video as it is. So I'm going to hang it up for right now, calm myself down, and then I'll come back and tell you how I calm myself down. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. Wish me luck. And if you've got mercury in your mouth, good luck too.